Good morning. I'm early this morning for our Natural State Kayak Anglers event here at Rocky Branch on Beaver Lake, north part of Beaver, and it is going to be a beautiful day on the water. Hopefully I can find some fish. It's going to be super clear water. I'm not great fishing clear water. I'd rather it be muddy than clear. Actually pre-fished this area and found quite a few fish. They just weren't real big, so I'm hoping that maybe some of the big ones have moved up a little bit. It's April the 15th, I think it is. Water temperatures are probably a little bit over 60 degrees, so fish are starting to move on to beds, and hopefully some of those big mamas are going to be moving up and we'll be able to catch them. Not feeling super confident about my abilities in this clear water versus some of the fill, but it's going to be a fun day either way. So I think I can catch some fish, just hope the right ones are there. So it's going to be a fun day. Thanks for going along with me. We'll see you later. All right. Oh my gosh, first cast. So Lion's End was at 6:30, and I started in this little pocket that I'd had pretty good success in pre-fishing. I'd caught a 17.25 and a 15.5 in this pocket, so I wanted to fish it first. Fished a buzzbait, fished a floating worm, fished a spinnerbait, and you can tell this area just looks gorgeous. And pre-fishing, the bait that I finally was able to find fish on was the fluke, so I knew the morning time was going to be key to that bite, because once the wind got up and pre-fishing, the fluke bite was really difficult for me. So I was hoping to get on them early here in this little pocket, just a pretty little spot. Trying all these different baits, eventually take the floating worm off and go to a fluke and try that for a little bit. I tried popper, just a little bit of everything, and I just cannot get a bite in this pocket. So spend about the first hour and a half of my day trying to find fish in this pocket and just couldn't find them. So about 8 o'clock or so, I eventually gave up on this spot and moved to my next pocket, which in pre-fishing I hadn't found any fish, but it was kind of similar in the setup here as what this pocket was. So felt like they were going to be moving in onto beds and as shallow as possible. This pocket was a little bit deeper, and I couldn't really get all the way to the bank, so I don't know if that's the reason I couldn't find any fish in this area or not, but for whatever reason this pocket did not produce any fish for me at all. So make a couple more casts here, but by this point again it's about 8 o'clock and I decide to hightail it out of this area. So my second pocket, also not getting any bites, but this pocket's a little bit better protected from a south wind, and this buckbrush is a little bit closer up to the shoreline. So pre-fishing, I didn't get any bites in here, but I wanted to check on everything, but not getting anything. I'm about to give up on this pocket, and I decide I'm gonna make one more cast into this kind of greening up brush here with my fluke. Thank you, buddy. So a couple casts later, I missed what looked to be like about a 14, 15-inch fish. And this kind of turned out to be the story of my day. This is just kind of how it went all day long. One more fish, come on. You can't see it in this video, but when I make this cast, there's a fish that comes out and darts at my fluke from the left bushes out to the right, and just kind of tapped it and didn't really take the bait, but from what I could tell, it was probably a 14, 15-inch fish as well. Come on now, come on now. This fish hits right at the edge of the bushes, and I get it hooked pretty good, but unfortunately it gets hung up in the bushes. I can see the fish in there, and I just cannot get to it before it gets off. I think it was probably about 13 inches or so. After I missed this one, I went ahead and fished around the north side of this pocket, and no bites on the north side, so that should have given me a clue because everything was coming on the south sides of these pockets. But I decided to head across the other side of the lake. It was 15, 20-minute paddle to get over there, and I tied on a Ned rig and just decided I got to find a limit no matter what it takes. At this point, I was kind of nearing panic mode, but at least I'd finally gotten a fish in the boat, and I just decided I was going to try to catch a limit no matter what it took. So decided just to fish the Ned rig and try to get some bites and try to get a limit, and then hopefully if I could get a limit, maybe I could go back and fish some of the areas that I felt like might be holding bigger fish. So that's what I did for quite a while here.
desperate times.
I decided to throw a jerkbait along this bank. I'd caught some smallmouth in about 6 to 10 feet of water in pre-fishing, and I thought that they may still be out there. Hooked into this fish, and it was a good one. I don't know how big it was because I never saw it, but it had to be 15, 16 minimum. I'm guessing almost for sure smallmouth, and losing this fish hurt worse than just about all the other mistakes.
Gosh, dang it!
About 1 o'clock, I still didn't have a limit, and I needed to get across the lake. So I paddled back across the lake, and there's a pocket that I felt like maybe would be protected from the wind. Maybe I could finally eventually get a limit. So you have absolutely no idea how thankful I was for this tiny little bitty fish that I catch right here.
Yeah, that's a pretty big smallmouth. Wow, did not expect that. Nice. Wow, that helps my day a lot. Wow. Did not see that coming. All right. That should get rid of one of my nines. Wow. All right, never give up. Come on.
So after struggling all day, this pocket that was protected from the wind and had gravel on the bottom produced a couple really nice fish, and all of a sudden I'm up to 75 3/4, and I still got an hour to go. Got 111 1/4 I can still cull. So really any cull is going to move me up in the standings, I know. But if I can get a 15-incher, I'm going to be close to 80 inches, which in the end would have been, top 3 or 4. So I work real hard for the next hour to try to find another bite and just can't ever find it.
There's one running under me that's 14 to 15 inches. I can't get him to bite. He was like right underneath it.
This tournament definitely have some mixed bag of emotions with. I ended up in 14th place, and as you can tell, definitely made some mistakes that cost me some points. A 13-inch fish would have moved me to 8th place. A 15-inch fish would have moved me all the way to 4th place. So a couple of mistakes really cost me in the end. For that, I really hate that happened, and I definitely didn't fish clean. I wish I would have. But on the other hand, I really grinded today. I caught up some fish with Ned rig, which is normally not my favorite technique to fish. I don't do real well on a slow-paced fishing environment, so I did it. I grinded it out, and I'm proud of that, and really happy with that 19 1/4 inch fish too. That fish is going to put me well into the lead in our heavy hitter spot, which is a pretty big prize pool at the end of the year, so I'm very happy with that fish too. So in the end, it wasn't a bad day. I wish it could have done better, but 14th out of 50 anglers is really pretty good given how difficult the situation was for me. So thank you very much for watching. Can't wait to have the next one. Talk to you later.